SprayTECH offers a full line of accessories, including reversible and flat tips, guns, hoses, and reach tools. Let's start with the XL1 tip series. The XL1 reversible tip series uses the longest life carbide in the market. They last longer than competitive tips and can save you several dollars on each tip. If the professional painter uses 100 tips per year, they can save $5 per tip. With that math, your customer has just put an extra $500 in their pocket. That, on its own, is a reason to give the XL1 a look. Now let's talk about tip selection and sizing. Proper sized tips and being sure to replace the tip when it's worn can be the difference between a profitable job or a money-losing job. Relatively speaking, the tips are inexpensive, but they greatly influence the performance of the pump, not to mention the finish of the job and the amount of paint that's used. They are the money end of the job. If there's a problem with the tip, it impacts the perception of the pump and the paint. Tips tell the pump how hard to work, when to turn on, and when to stop pumping. Now, when it comes to tip sizing, the type of coating and the job substrate will determine the proper tip size. The first digit on a tip handle will tell you the fan size. We use the 517 tip as an example. Take the first digit on the handle and double it. A 517 tip will give you a 10-inch fan pattern. A 315-inch tip will give the painter a 6-inch fan. A 731 tip will deliver a 14-inch fan pattern. The second set of numbers on the handle is the orifice size, which is the opening that the paint passes through. The smaller the orifice size, the smaller the opening the paint passes through. The orifice size determines how much paint can be sprayed. Light viscosity materials such as stains and sealers take a smaller orifice size. As the coating becomes thicker or more viscous, the orifice size must increase. Here's a guideline to make the proper selection. Remember, the larger the orifice size, the more coating you'll apply. The large size will also increase the mill thickness. 9 through 13 thousandths are used for sealers and lacquer. 13 through 19 thousandths are used for enamel and latex. 19 through 25 thousandths are used for elastomeric and epoxies. And 25 through 31 thousandths are used for block fillers and aggregate paints. Tip flow rates. The tip orifice will allow a specific amount of paint to pass through the opening, regardless of the PSI. The opening size is fixed. Therefore, a manufacturer can claim to have the highest PSI, but it doesn't mean they can push more paint through the tip. That's impossible. Here's a list of orifice sizes and the amount of fluid that can pass through that opening regardless of operating pressure. XL1 wide shot tips deliver high production with high flow rates. Use these tips if you want to cover a large area quickly. For example, the 1231 wide shot equals a 24-inch fan size with a 31,000th orifice. That's a lot of paint and a big fan pattern. If there's a large area to spray and the painter wants to finish the job quickly, the wide shot is the answer. This is a double orifice, double atomization tip that delivers ultra-fine atomization for finish applications. Use it on varnish, lacquers, lacquer undercoats, and enamels, all for high-end finish work. The fine finish tips are typically smaller orifice sizes and are not intended for high output applications. The XL1 line of reversible tips offers a competitively priced tip to meet every application need.